U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
We just kind of, we just go by the vibes.
Border security, President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security.
It would be hysterical.
Migration has been reduced under Biden.
Mm-hmm. It would be hysterical if Biden was like, "Are you going to pick the fruit?"
Well, also, the reason why there's a record number is because of the COVID restriction, where it was like if you're caught, you were just sent back, so they just cross again.
Yes.
So it's a distorted figure. And even then, since Title 42 has ended and it went back to a relatively normal border policy, it's been low. It's been low. Yeah. It's the lowest it's ever been since, I don't know, Reagan, maybe? As you also had to adjust for world population percentage at that case. Because like Reagan, it was bad under Reagan, and that's why he made the entire system we have now, which is honestly Reagan's good policy. Why can't Bishi run for president? He can't speak English, only German.
Why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, but made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers.
You still are. Your policy is literally child separation that you just introduced.
That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the
law,
you're
just making the parents have to do it themselves.
I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban.
Okay. It's sounding slow and old and shit, but this is sounding more like typical politician speak. This is what he's recovering, I think. Maybe he just stumbled at the start.
Maybe he woke up from his nap before this started, and now he's getting into hyperdrive.
His eyes are more open.
Bro, I was watching Sam Cedar, and they were talking about how they're going to be like, who knows what they're doing, and he's got Alzheimer's, but who knows what they're doing at Camp David? They could be hopping him up on Mountain Dew. And Sam Cedar's like, well, if Mountain Dew can cure Alzheimer's, I guess that's good news.
That's so funny.
That sentence, I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country.
I don't know how to tell you this, but
all he had
was
to do, I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look
at his face. The reactions are going to be some of the best we've ever seen. That's so fucking funny.
Safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are no.
First of all, no.
Hold on, let him speak.
Talking about Title 42.
Insane asylums. Terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now. All terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America.
Yeah, but
all over the world they come.
Screen for terrorists more now.
All over the world they're pouring in.
That is true.
And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of
you tried to do it, and it was overridden.
Presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who's great. And by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people
literally, you had a worse border. Yeah,
did you catch that?
He called him Brandon. Yes.
Biden should have had the sunglasses ready, armed and ready. So that as soon as he did that, he would put the glasses on.
Trump having the audacity when he only reduced legal crossings and skyrocketed illegal crossings.
Mm-hmm.
That's not safe.
including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed 3 under his administration, killed an al-Qaeda person come in his administration, killed 3 American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there.
Oh, he's talking about Afghanistan.
Terrorists ever got through with the idea they're emptying their prisons. We're welcoming these people.
Wait, what?
No. There was a terrorist attack on U.S. soldiers. An al-Qaeda guy was able to cross the border and do a terrorist attack under Trump's admin because his border policy was that bad.
When did that happen? What the fuck? Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about this. That's fucking wild.
What we said. Once again, he's exaggerating. He's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people.
What city did you give to him again?
Dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border.
Hey, a Saudi Air Force officer who went on a deadly gun rampage at a U.S. naval base in December 2019 worked with al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, which was al-Qaeda core at the time, to plan the attack, officials say.
Interesting.
Killed 3 U.S. soldiers, injured 8.
Crazy.
The evidence was on the gunman's phone.
Oh my god.
Our citizens at a level that we've never seen.
We call it migrant a good idea, crime. But we'd rather
I call it
do this as
Biden
journalists.
Migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these 3 incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now.
The Biden brings up...
We're literally an uncivilized country now.
Biden brings up what? He brings up the al-Qaeda guy.
Which was a literal...
borders.
We talk about... Trump specifically was talking about terrorist migrant crossings. And Biden was able to recall this minor attack. They must have prepped him for this point because it was so long ago. So because it's like they're going to talk about border. What are because like obviously he's going to like recycle the same points that he's fucking ramping about, right? So Biden's debate prep team was probably able to go through and knew exactly everything Trump would say.
Because he's an NPC.
Yeah,
he gets loaded in with the chip of shit.
That said, if Kamala Harris was here, she'd be destroying Trump.
She would be, yeah. You're 100% correct.
Like the debate prep would have been much. I think honestly, it's getting to the point where I think Kamala Harris should be the one running over Biden. She has a better Palestine policy. I don't like her by any means.
Objectively, on policy-based decisions, she's probably better.
Yeah.
Now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know.
Well, she'll be able to fucking come back and snap back at all this stuff better than he is because he's fucking old, man.
Yeah, but he's also, his reactions are just like, he doesn't need to say anything.
He's ever seen anything like, and we have to get a lot.
Like the fact
no one has ever seen it. Millions and millions.
Like you just have to take into consideration that Biden has been doing this his entire fucking life.
Yeah,
he may not be able to say the shit anymore.
They tried to say Hillary was running on experience too, but
no, I'm not saying running on experience, right? What I'm saying is that just because he's old and he can't compute words to his mouth anymore doesn't mean that shit's not gone.
Yeah,
right. It's still up there. It's still there. His foreign policy knowledge, his experience, his
also you don't need snap decisions to make policy as president.
No. And this is why
snap decisions might be better for a debate stage, but
Exactly. And that's what you need to realize, that this is about it really is a crucial time to make a decision for America. I would say don't vote, but that's me, right?
Well, the thing is with America is that only about up to, like, at the most extreme, up to 10,000 votes will matter. That's the most extreme.
Yes.
Like, how
Yes.
many votes decided the last election? It was something like 8,000.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
So as far as not voting, it's like the encouragement not to vote. It's really when we talk about all this, make sure you vote for Biden and do all this rhetoric and stuff. It's really to appease like a very minuscule amount of Americans, like Ken Bone.
How much money they spend.
Yeah.
Insane, right?
Because it's not like New York's gonna swing anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to vote for Biden.
But yeah, so you really need to think about this. We're witnessing a debate, and this is why I don't like debates, right? Debates are only about team sports. Look at who's talking from policy. Whether they're lying or not, because they're fucking politicians lie, right? We're all aware of this. He's talking about policy, Trump's talking about emotion and like feels.
It's spooky. They're brown people.
Right? Talking about how the country has been
invaded by millions and millions of migrants.
And he's going to build it back up, and you need to put him on the pedestal so he can build it back up. It sounds
like Sam Cedar
very interesting.
Sam Cedar was saying, like, the Project 2025 people, like, they don't actually agree with Trump or listen to him. They just know Trump's a fucking idiot, and they'll be able to do whatever they want with him.
Yes.
He literally, when they say he's such a strong candidate, he's not. He's a literal pushover for anyone who just goes, wow, sir, your skin looks great today.
How do these people out? And we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans.
What did you do about the veterans? You fuckwit.
He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our
That's why,
veterans.
he doesn't like the military. That's why he reversed your policy on transgenders and stuff.
Highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved.
You mean the racist veterans approved of you? Crazy.
All of the different things I approved.
Are these the same people that also like Garand Thumb and other people? Yeah, notorious pieces of shit. People who are, it came out that SDI is actually just a scam, and all these people are in on it too. So that's pretty fucking cool.
What's SDI?
We might have to
tell people what SDI is.
Oh, the Sonoran Desert Institute. It's the big sponsor of all the gun tubers. So we might have to get Tactical Girlfriend back on to talk about it.
Abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less
than
half.
There's a Brandon again.
Because he's done all these great things that we did, and I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being.
Bro mentioned Agent Orange.
Burn pits?
Do Gulf War syndrome. About
Gulf War syndrome?
No. Burn pits are different. Burn pits, actually, I dislike how much the burn pits discourse is focused on because it detracts from Gulf War syndrome.
So it's not Gulf War syndrome.
No, but Jon Stewart is the one who is advocating for the burn pits.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So
interesting, and he also reversed the gay thing as well that we watched the other day.
What's interesting is I even get commercials on this saying, like, you can have insurance if your grandfather was in the military now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the USAID goes. It can go all the way to your grandchildren now.
Damn. Okay.
Right, and. Not only that, the fact that he's able to say everything he said is a lie, the PACT Act. Has Trump mentioned an act that he's done? No, we killed Soleimani and Baghdadi. Trump literally responded, the 3 people I killed. It's like, bro, did you listen to Biden, what Biden said? He didn't say you killed terrorists. He said service members died when al-Qaeda crossed our border. Like, you can't even process what he said. You're just in here going like, Soleimani, Baghdadi, Soleimani, Baghdadi. Who's the third one then, Trump? The biggest terrorist of all time.
Hilarious.
Bigger than Bin Laden,
but yeah,
those people are me.
But like, just to harp on it a little more, right? I can't remember exactly what it was, but the gay sex thing, the dishonorable discharge for the gay sex thing, right?
Sodomy. Yeah, don't answer.
Sodomy, right? That alone is gigantic. That's massive. It allows remuneration for anybody during a 50-year period.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy under Biden. So that's a point for the gays and the militaries.
Yeah, but they hate the gays, so Trump can't, Trump, that's a point for Trump on the Republican side. Anyone who hates gays, which is like, though, when we talk about people who hate gays, it's not those fucking 10,000 people that can swing the election in this country. Those people are not virulent anti-gay. That's why they're in the center. So all that rhetoric, like the rhetoric where they go so hard to the right on these Republican policies, especially like you can see it especially in the primaries, but that's actual primaries. But like, you actually should be toning down your anti-gay rhetoric to get those swing votes.
Yeah, exactly. But he's not.
He can't. He's not capable.
No. But I also think he's too worried about losing his base if he's at all pro-gay.
Group opposed that.
Bro,
we're also in a situation
he
where
could come out tomorrow and say he supports transing kids and cutting their dicks off, and his base will not abandon him.
Nope. They would not.
My son spent a year in Iraq, living right next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in
How can he stumble over normal words but say a cancer correctly?
Good.
What the fuck?
in France for D-Day.
So confusing.
And I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general.
Not only did he
told me, he said, I don't.
No, he'll say it. Let him go.
I want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers.
There you go. That's
My
what I was
son was
say.
not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Oh!
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care.
Trump, Americans who died in war are losers and suckers. The president has repeatedly disparaged the intelligence of service members and asked the wounded veterans to be kept out of military parades. Multiple sources tell The Atlantic. Now, sure, it's The Atlantic, but it's the multiple sources part that I care about, because this is journalism, and journalism requires corroborating sources, unlike Trump, who would believe a single formerly reputable journalist over a single
Keeping wounded
issue.
people out of military parades. What are you, fucking Vladimir Putin? Vladimir Putin can't even have military parades anymore.
Because he's too scared?
No, because he doesn't have a military to parade around his capital. They're all deployed.
Right.
They had like one tank. They brought out the Tiger tank from World War II. They captured it from the Germans and said, "This is our tank for the parade." It was some old tank, wasn't it? In that one parade, and then Ukraine had their own parade, and it was just Russian destroyed vehicles.
Amazing.
Think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents.
Nobody knows what that means.
Just like
what does Russia mean?
Economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son.
It was though.
It wasn't Russia.
It was though. It doesn't matter if the laptop existed.
Yeah,
the entire
exactly.
still to this day, the shit around the laptop is a Russian disinformation.
Yeah, it's a Russian disinformation
Honestly, where's the
campaign.
fact checking? Right here. We're doing it.
Yeah, that's why you watch us.
I thought they were supposed to. It's almost like CNN aren't journalists.
Yeah, crazy. It's almost like they're corporate press, which is the whole point that we are trying to make.
Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize.
I'm still looking because I haven't heard this claim of like it's fake, it's not, it's blah blah blah. So I'm still trying to find this.
Look
yes,
at what he
shame on
said about
CNN. Permanent shame on CNN. Fuck
look
CNN.
at what he said about John McCain. You know.
Oh yeah, perfect. That's a perfect example. It's on.
I
video.
like the ones that weren't captured.
To be right now.
He was captured because his plane was shot down.
Standing at your side was on your staff who said you said it. Period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for.
While Trump has denied making the remarks, his former chief of staff, John Kelly, later corroborated the magazine's account.
Yeah, I have people who said I didn't do it. 19 people. Who are they? Just some guys.
After he confirmed Donald Trump called dead U.S. service members suckers in 2018, John Kelly, by far the dumbest of all my military people, just picked up the theme of the radicals left's lying about Gold Star families and soldiers in his hatred of me, is what Trump says. His comments come days after Kelly confirmed several details, including a 2020 article from The Atlantic. It literally came from The Atlantic. Okay. Interesting. So, look, chief of staff. Look, sure.
He said it.
Yeah,
veterans than any president has in American history. American history.
I mean, chief of staff, the guy that's around him all the time, the guy that deals with everything. It's a pretty good source.
And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war.
Unless they get Gulf War syndrome, then you deny, and fuck them.
Well, he didn't personally. I mean, he was probably on the Congress
doing now.
at the time.
He's been in the American government for 50 years.
Let me check. Joe Biden Gulf War syndrome.
For veterans than ever before in our history.
All right. Thank you so much.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?